Hey guys, it is RCK, and I'm glad to have you back here again for our next episode of this national overview thing that I have going on here. Today we're going to be looking at another mod nation from the Gathering Sturm mod here. And the nation in particular that we're looking at is a MA nation, and it's named Al-Mada'in. Al-Mada'in, I believe that's the way you pronounce it. The word is right there. AL-MADAI''IN. So we have a very, very interesting nation here, and a very, very interesting start on top of that. I find this to be very, very, very cool, very, very unique to itself. So when we're looking here, race, humans first, heat 1, tribesmen and well-trained house troops, military orders in the capital. Not sure what that is, we'll have to figure that out. Weak fire and air outside the capital, access to fire, air, earth, astral, death, and blood. Lots of paths there, very nice. Mediocre, can't enter communion, so we do know they have decent astral. So this is the interesting part here. Capital Province has 25% lower population and gem income, but starts surrounded by forts with additional population and magic sites. Okay. Buildings, primitive forts. Architects can build better forts. Can build underwater forts. Labs cost 250. That's a big decrease in lab cost. That's really awesome. Okay, so we have a few units here. We have a bunch of sites, and we'll go through each one of those. But first, we'll look at what your nation would actually look like if you started and played as them. So if this was a land province here, this would have a fort on it as well. So we've already taken 3 of them. But in this situation there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 forts, possibly 6 if that was a land province. So if it was a map nuke map, that would be a land province. Or I guess you might not have 6 lanes connected to your capital. I don't know. But either way, let's go ahead and talk a lot about this. A very, very interesting start here. And all these forts do have troops in them. For example, we'll just watch this battle here. This is us storming one of the forts. And we have some guys here. Okay, they're coming in. We see Deer Tribe. We see the house units that we're able to recruit ourselves. We see Blood, Death, Astral Mages. We have these Tower Nobles. So yes, these forts do have units in them, so you will have to bring a sizable amount of troops in order to take them. So let's go ahead, now that we've talked about that, let's go and look back at this here. So the first site, the only site that you start with is the Mabed al-Shams. Gives you 1 fire, 1 air, produces 30 resources, and it lets you recruit the Noble, Architect, Fakir, and Kumra units here. And we'll go ahead and check over these units before we get into all these other sites that will show up around your capital. So there's 6 sites in total, and let's make sure that one site, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I guess we didn't get all of our sites because there wasn't enough forts around our cap. Now, which one didn't we get? We got the tower, the hidden, the halls, forges, and the owl. Okay, so let's see. Forges. I don't know if we got this one here. I don't think we got this one. Which we'll talk about them. I assume this is going to be a requirement that they'll have to have all 6 forts around. We did get forges. Pretty sure we got that one. I know we got that one. Okay, interesting. Just to double check again, so I don't see any forts outside of this. We do have the halls. Is that Hidden Citadel or something? Yeah, Hidden Citadel. Tower of Iron. That's just the arena. forges. So yeah, it looks like we are missing the slave one. Unfortunate there. I guess there is a chance that you may not get all of them, depending on how many lanes you're connected to. So let's look at our units. We have the tribal skirmisher here. Just a very, very cheap, low resource, low recruitment cost. Short bow unit also has a scimitar. Can still hold up their own during combat if they do have to fight. But of course, normally you just really have these guys for the short bows. Next, you have your Marfugli Spearmen. This is probably going to be your more standardized troop unit. They do have a link 4 long spear with 13 pierce damage. Overall, their stats are very human. It's very mediocre. 13 protection's not bad. 10 gold, okay. Next, we have the Mafugli Archer. So this is just a kind of more armored archer, I guess, and it has a composite bow instead of a short bow. Still having the same scimitar. Stats are about the same, other than protection being higher at 13. This one just costing you a lot more resources and recruitment points, along with 3 more gold. So I guess it depends on whether or not you want a composite bow or a short bow. And usually when you're having bows and stuff, that's going to be early game. You're going to be able to mass them out, do things like flaming arrows, probably be going with the short bow guy. Here we have a swordsman. I guess instead of the long spear that they have, this is a swordsman with just a scimitar instead. Stats looking pretty average, just human stats here. With the shield, giving a little bit higher defense skill, 13 protections, not bad. Price, 10 gold again. And then we have a little bit more interesting unit, the Fakir here. Probably said that wrong. 17 gold, 8 resources, 16 recruitment points, but it is a sacred unit. Does not need to eat, wasteland survival, and ambidextrous because he has 2 scimitars he's holding. So very, very killy unit. 3 of these guys to a square, they're going to be able to deal some damage. Not only that, they're going to be able to get a lot of attacks off. Very high density of attacks. So these units are going to be pretty interesting. Of course, you can put bless on them. The only downside is they only have 3 protection. They can get killed. Archer fire is really going to hurt. Things such as that. So you have to be aware of that. Maybe like a bark skin, something along those lines, bless, in order to have them a little bit protected early on. Here we have a tribal horseman. It looks like he will come with a falcon each battle. And this tribal horseman comes with a light lance, scimitar, and a composite crossbow. 30 gold, 24 resources, 20 recruitment points. And with that falcon there, I feel like this is a pretty decently priced troop here. Yeah, I mean, they have They have 12 shots, so they can shoot all their arrows, and they're still a pretty formidable foe charging in after that. The falcon will do some distracting, possibly even bothering some mages, so that is very interesting there. Then you have the Chakir, a hoof axe lance attack, very, very strong, high defense skill, of course, for heavy cav, also high protection. On that armor on them, 18 protection, not bad at all. 40 gold, 40 resources, 40 recruitment points. And as far as heavy cav goes, I feel like this is a decently priced heavy cav unit, very average. If you needed a heavy cav, I mean, he would fill your role. So, and they also had the bodyguard tag to them, not as important, but it is interesting. Next, you just have your run-of-the-mill scout, 25 gold, not much to say there. You have a bay, and this can only be recruited outside of fort, or it said it can be recruited outside of fort, so you can recruit these guys anywhere. Just a 40 leadership commander, comes with 2 falcons, has pillager 2, wasteland survival. Yeah, just a small commander, 50 gold, with 40 leadership. You're not gonna want this guy running your armies, but you'll get the job done for raiding parties and whatnot. Next, we have the Ilim. So 100 gold, holy 2, 90% chance of either fire or air. So it can be fire 1, air, or an air 1. But holy 2s are nice to have still, so that's good. Actually, what's their at 40 gold and a 90% chance to roll either one. Very few of them are not going to be mages. Could very well be a pretty decently low upkeep research monkey. With one path, you might have what, 7 to 9 research points, I think. Next, we have the Amir, a fire 1, air 1 with a 30% random to either get another fire or air path. Other than that, 65 leadership, that's a little bit better. I don't really like making my leaders and my commanders the same thing, but that's just me. So, yeah, just another leader if you wanted one. I wouldn't make him wouldn't have tons of these guys for just because they have rather high upkeep since they're not sacreds themselves. Next, we have the Architect. Of course, they have the Mason ability, 60 gold, 2 recruitment points. They have Castle Defense bonus of 15, and they have a Siege bonus of 25. I actually use a lot of these guys just to take some of those forts early on. I mean, I just make one Architect, move them over. I mean, that's 25 guys pretty much, or the equivalent to about 25 guys, and I didn't take scales or anything, so I just clicked right on through to get to C. But yeah, they could siege it down, just a handful of them. I'd say put 4 of them. You could probably siege it down a turn or two. Next, we have a tribal or a tower noble. 145 gold, 2 recruitment points. I mean, this is not going to be a combat unit, size 4. It comes with 2 archers and 3 spearmen at the start of each battle. He has air shield, he's a tax collector, a defense organizer of 3, that's kind of nice. Cannot be raised to 19, so you know all your province you have or you start to take, you can sit one of these guys in there. And 19's, I mean, a pretty decent amount of PD that you don't have to pay for. Reduces unrest of 2. That's very nice because when we look at this next tag here, the slaver tag, they can levy slaves, and we will check out what kind of slaves they get in a few moments. Let's see, anything important in their information here. Just how they can get more troops, can organize defenses. Cool. Also, something I didn't mention there, 120 leadership. These guys are probably going to be some of your main leaders here, just with that very, very high leadership capacity. As for the last unit we have here, we have a cap-only mage. Takes 4 turns to recruit, 300 or it takes 2 turns to recruit. It's 305 gold, high morale, decent leadership, so it has some magical leadership on there. Might come in handy at some point. But we're going to be looking at these paths here. That's the most important thing. Fire 2, Air 2, Astral 1, Holy 1 with a 100% chance to random an additional fire or air. So these guys can be very, very good fire elemental or air elemental casters. You can also put them in communions, which is going to be really sweet. You'll be able to cast things like Fog Warriors, Heat from Hell, things like that, like high level Mat Firestorm. Later on, if you have communions for them, they have Sun Awe. They're sacred themselves. Have a pretty interesting Golden Spear unit here. That's kind of cool. So, they're also old. You do have to keep that in mind. So let's see about all these other sites that we have down here. So this is what we've already gone over. We have the Quat Ashuri, so it gives you 2 Blood Slaves, Unspoken, and then Tower Nobles. So Unspoken are a different unit here. I guess you can only get them from the fort that has this site in it. 170 gold. They're Astral 2, and they can random. They could be Death 2, Blood 2s, Blood 1s, Death 1s. Then 10% chance to random all that over again. So these are going to be really nice. You can do a lot of blood hunting stuff. They will cause unrest of 2. Your nobles, your tower nobles, are going to have to equal that out, or you just have to have somebody patrolling there. You'll just be your blood hunters. So it'll be interesting. We'll have to see if they have any blood magic stuff going on for them. Next, we have the Brewery Al-Hadid. So 1 earth, and this gives you a 165 gold unit with Holy 2, and then he's going to be either a Earth 2 or an Astral 2. Okay, both would be very useful. And then 10% chance to random Earth or Astral again. So possibly if you're making these, I mean, you might see some Earth 3s and you might see some Astral 3s come from this. That's not too bad. So that's pretty cool. Of course, we have the Tower Noble, which we've already seen. Then we have the Shabbat here, which looks to be like an assassin unit. Stealth or assassin troop, I guess. A stealthy unit with a scimitar and a poison dagger. Strong poison on it, that's nice. So quite interesting. Next we have the Al-Makbara El-Kubra. I'm not really good at this. So 1 Death Gem, you have the recruitment of a Grand Master here. 305 gold. So it's a Heir 2 Death 1 Holy 1 with a chance to random another Heir or another Death. Okay, so this can be your Wailing Winds, Wind of Death caster. Very nice. They can also make corpse constructs. So that's kind of cool. Pretty heavily, has a lot of protection. Has a lot of armor on him. It's a hammer. Doing some different or decent stuff. Has Spirit Sight. Very interesting. We have Tower Noble again. Then we have the Warden. That's basically the chassis of the last mage that we just looked at. Hammer, shields. He's got 16 instead of 18 protection. They have Spirit Sight though. That's interesting. Next we have the Forges here. 1 Earth. Then we have the Artificer. Ooh, this is kind of nice. Takes 2 turns to recruit, but Fire 1, Earth 1, Air 1. Then he has a 100% chance to do Fire, Air, Earth, Blood, or Death. He's also a Master Smith. So he's going to be able to forge things at a skill 1 skill higher. He's sacred, so he's going to have some lower upkeep. That's nice. Very interesting. Cool, cool. Tower Noble produces 45 resources. Then we have the Scion here. The Fire Scimitar. Oh yeah. High end resources, but you do get a bit of a bonus from that site. Lastly, we looked at that one, didn't we? Just double checking. Yep. Lastly, we have the Emirs and Slaves. So we have this Amir Akawa. Looks like it comes with a sylph at the start of the battle. It's also floating. Looks like his horse is floating there. It has air shield. It's a Fire 1, Air 2 with 30% random to get an additional off either of those. Only 125 gold. That's not bad. Upkeep's 100. Make 1 a turn. Lightning Scimitar. So it has added lightning damage. Okay. That's kind of cool. The sylph was kind of nice as well. 35 leadership, or 65, so that's pretty good. The next we have the Amir Al-Haqui coming with a hen. Starts with a hen every battle. Also has a Fire Scimitar. This one's not floating. It's kind of old. That fire magic makes everyone older. So Fire 2, Air 1 with a chance to random additional things there. Okay. Kind of cool. Then we have the Slave. 2 gold, 3 resources, 1 recruitment point. A Link 3 spear with 11 pierce. Alright. 0 protection. 9 hit points. Of course, that's just your chaff. Wonder if those slaves are what we're going to get from those tower guard. So let's check here. Anything special? We have Pride Alliance, Contact Jin, Summon Jin Warriors, Hin, Hora, Slit, Bin, a lot of the Ubar summons that we see. Scorching Wind, Scorching Flame, yep, same spells. Nothing in construction, nothing in enchantment. Celestial Choir. Okay. Gem Block, yep. Ubar Nabah has that. Feast of Ghouls, Ifrit, Gula, yep. So I guess, if I'm not mistaken, you needed a Death Blood Mage to summon Gulas? I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Ifrit. I guess you don't have Shaitans anymore, but you have the Ifrit and the Gulas. That's kind of interesting. I did want to see. So we're going to recruit some of these tower nobles and see how useful their slaves are. Let's just capture. You guys making? Yeah, you're making tower nobles too. Okay. So this is kind of where our gemming comes now, just by taking our cap circle. Looks like this one just so happened to have a lava lake in it. So I guess we won't get our slave province. Did we? No. Okay. So yeah, it just gives us those slaves there that we spoke about. Okay, they're not bad. Not bad. Let's see. You could definitely buy some mercs too. Trying to expand a little bit faster. Just seeing how many we can make a turn here. Ooh, that's actually quite a lot. That was just two guys doing it. With just one fellow, he made 11. $14, and the unrest has stayed relatively low due to the fact that they do reduce unrest. Probably need to stop over here or start patrolling. So that didn't bother our income too much. I mean, these provinces are pretty decent. I mean, 1,300, 157 income, 118, 108, 103, 93, and then 208. I mean, that's your cap circle. It's going to take you a little while to get them all, but possibly through something like going like a scales build, being able to really either focus on these sacreds or just focus on massing out as many troops as you can, could possibly get you there. So we cannot upgrade you. Cannot upgrade the capital, but we can upgrade our other forts around here. We'll just go ahead and storm. That's about what you should be expecting to see in here. Seems like quite a bit though. Definitely have to build up a good bit before you can go. Could be worth like taking one of these outlying provinces and moving a bunch of these tower nobles into it. Like this waste here, we could probably have easily taken that. We can just do that right now. Oops. clicked off. We'll just throw some stuff at it. We move all of you guys over there. Actually move over there. We'll just go ahead and clean this up. I was playing around with it too much. I think we're on like turn 20. Turn 24. Yeah, I should have already way had this. You should probably be able to clear your cap circle off in like the first year. So we're going to set all these here to capture, patrol, storm. See, they're already going to be boosting up our. See, they've already got it up to 18 each. Is that 20? So we need to move one over here. We can construct you up just to see. I mean, they all have 2 recruitment points, if you're wondering. Nope, they only have 1. My bad. I think it was when I was playing Micklin. Those Palisades they make have 2 recruitment points in them. So let's just see how many slaves. Oh, we're running low on supplies there. I could probably move this one out. Let's just see how many we make. So that's that last fort there. Lost 27 slaves. Not that big of a deal. See how many we made. We made 39 there with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 nobles capturing. Well, actually, some of those might have put them into their own squad since they had a squad there. So it might have been a little bit more than that. Okay, so I mean, it's an interesting nation for sure. I think you have to take a lot of practice. Well, I think it will take a lot of practice. I also think that you need to prioritize getting these forts as fast as you can and maybe grabbing a province or 2 outside. Because, like, someone's not going to take your cap circle. But, like, I would probably recommend taking, like, one of these. Like, that one's a pretty good one, giving that resource. No, hold on, that's the cap. This is the one. Like, this one gives you a pretty good resource bonus and makes more troops from. That one doesn't. Only gives you Jin. Did we talk about the Jin? I don't think so. Fire 2, Air 2, Earth 1, Priest level 1. Jin, of course, they have Ethereal, Glamour, Magic Power, Storm Immunity, 265 gold. They do take 2 turns to recruit. Very good thug abilities here. I mean, with the Air, Earth paths. Oh, and they also get the Sacreds from there, too. So that's another province you can recruit Sacreds from. That's kind of cool. That's really neat, actually. Or maybe if you decide to go with the whole Sacred route, that's the one that has the assassin. If you try to go to the whole Sacred route, maybe priority 1 would be getting a province that you can produce more Sacreds out of. If you're not going scales and took a stronger Bliss, and you think you can just take them with that. But you also think slaves are also going to be a big part as well. I think they'll definitely help you with sieging down quickly. Um, for the most part, I think if one of them's doing it by themselves, they should be able to keep the unrest real low. So it shouldn't affect your capital income as much if you do it in your capital or in one of these other provinces. But like this is your income and everything with no skills at all. So pretty interesting. I did think this was a very unique idea, very interesting way to start. Too bad we didn't have another fort right here. Like this would have been a good starting spot, or a better spot, I guess. Would have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 connections, forts in all of them. Wonder if you could have a throw in your cap circle that already has the fort on it. I wonder how the units inside of it will look. But yeah, unfortunately, we got beside a water province here. But I guess it happens. Alright, guys, I hope you enjoyed. I know this was kind of a different style nation than one that we normally see, but it is interesting nonetheless. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.